Anti-political matters, the All Progressives Congress, APC, has fixed a new date for the screening of its presidential aspirants for the 2023 general elections. This was announced by the National Organizing Secretary of the party, Suleiman Argungu, on Monday in Abuja. He said the party will be screening the 28 presidential aspirants who obtained forms on Tuesday, May 24th and Wednesday, May 25th at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel in Abuja. Earlier on Sunday, the party had postponed the screening exercise for the second time after it failed to hold last weekend, but no reason was given for the change in plan. And despite requests by political parties for the extension of presidential primaries, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has put its foot down, saying any alteration of the schedule of activities will disrupt the whole schedule. But with less than 11 days to the June 3rd deadline set by INEC for the conduct of presidential primaries, none of the 18 political parties have conducted their presidential primaries. Now, to make sense of this, Omori Aigbe, political affairs analyst, joins me now on the news. Well, thank you for joining me. Now, let's begin with the pleas for extension by political parties falling on deaf ears. Why then do you think some of these parties chose almost the last few days to the end of the month of May for these all-important activities when the submission deadline is actually the 3rd of June? Would you say it is a technique or ploy by the parties?
It's a political calculation. What is happening exactly is that no political party wants to gift its member to another political party. What exactly is happening now is people's political parties have learned from previous experiences where you see a loser from a party process immediately jumping to another political party. So what's happening now, each party has learned from those processes. No one wants talking about like a football match, no one wants to gift their football player to another team. What is happening is that each political party will continue to postpone the primaries until such a time that it will be the last day and no one will postpone. Both parties, particularly major political parties, are all waiting on each other, waiting for who will run the primaries first. A lot of intrigues. If the first, let's assume party A eventually runs its primaries and a South or a Southeast person is elected as the gubernatorial candidate, it will immediately send a higher signal to the other political party, to the political party B. Or when there are interest groups for folks who may have got angry due to maybe perceived manipulation of the process or perceived poor handling of the process, gets angry, they run into another political party and then use the platform to run for election in 2023. So at this time, what the parties are doing is just to be clever by having recognized what has happened previously.
In the argument for the extension of INEC's schedule, some have faulted INEC's opposition to calls for an extension of the extant deadline for party primaries. Now, what do you make of this?
Anybody faulting INEC's stand will be unfair to INEC. When President Buhari signed the electoral bill into an act on February the 25th, within 24 hours, INEC met and resolved to release the guideline timetable for the election. Within 48 hours, the timetable for the 2023 election was released. That was February. I think about February 27th or 28th, we already had it. So there was April. Now is May. After 3 months, someone that has not been prepared is now asking for a shift in date. What kind of, is that the way to run an effective system? You've got 3 months notice, and here you are asking for extension. We support INEC. INEC should stand on June the 3rd, because it's not just June the 3rd. It has implication overall on the 2023 elections. Why am I saying this? Don't forget that the presidential election has been 5th of February, 25th or so, and the gubernatorial election is about March 14th, 2 weeks after. But each of them there must be a handover and take over on May 29th. If, for instance, we get to a process on February 25th, we are unable to elect a president. There need to be an appropriate time enough for INEC to prepare for a runoff. If we push these processes, push it to March, and eventually maybe push it to April, we are going to have a lacuna at some point that 29th handover date may not be sacrosanct. And in the face of law, 29th of February is handover date. There must be no time. There cannot be May 30th. It is May 29th, and that is what INEC is working on. The Electoral Act 2022 empowers INEC to create a time of about 6 months before election for candidates or political parties to be ready. Well, I don't know, if parties were not ready in the last 2 months, we will not be ready in 24 hours.
The conversation continues, definitely. Political affairs analyst Amoria Ibe, thank you very much for joining us on the news and for your contribution.